Right. We're live. Double checking. Never used this app before. I'm using the default Twitch app on Android. Forgot to check if there was any quality settings. There isn't on the iPhone, so I just assumed. So I'm still getting the workout. Like I'm still putting my vocal cords through 720p. It's good enough for the girls I go out with. I'm not pushing any air through. Like you can do this. You can talk without talking. So welcome. I'm gonna move the coffee out of the way. Step 1: turn the computer off. It's currently running, and there's a little switch in here. So I used to be like, how can I used to wonder how I could sing so well. Since I don't have any monitor hooked up, can't really see what happens, but I hope it was turned off. The fan will keep spinning until I disconnect the battery because it's running on 8 volts from this voltage regulator. Why 8 volts? Because it makes the fan spin slower. So it keeps, it's enough, this 40mm Noctua fan is enough to keep it at 36 degrees whilst streaming, which is plenty. I tried 5 volts, but then the fan is not reliably starting. It's a 12 volt fan. And if you help it a little bit, it will keep spinning, but it can't start by itself. So it's not suitable, but 8 volt was fine. And the reason I run 8 is that this little adapter is sort of intended to be used for cameras, and all Sony A7S series and Panasonic, I mean, basically every camera runs on 7.2 volt batteries and fully charged are 8 volts. So 8.1, 8.2. I think they charge at 8.6 2C lithium-ion battery. Unsure, but it's the native voltage anyway. So it provides 8 volts. Fan likes it perfectly fine. And it's dead silent. Before I ran it through 12 volts, and I had it on 3 resistors of an unknown value. The resistors they include. I don't have them here. I do. These kind of deals that Noctua includes for their fan. They don't specify on it, and honestly I can't read the labels on the resistors. But there is a resistor in here of some unknown value. That slows the fan down, and I found that 3 of them was perfect because I want this computer to be imperceivable. Like I don't want to hear it at all, inaudible. And 3 resistors did that. But 8 volts, no resistors also did that, so that's even better. What we're doing today is taking it apart, stripping out the PCB, removing the PCB from the case. Sorry, we're not in frame. And we are putting in this tiny speaker in the build. So this is the original Mac Mini speaker. It runs off the amplifier on the motherboard, so it's just a positive and a negative connector on it. It weighs 8 grams and it's perfect for IRL. It's definitely loud enough and nice quality enough to play alerts. The reason I didn't put it in is when I built this case, the hump you see, it's not the same width. Here it's about 3 centimeters, and here it's 4. Actually, I want to check that. I think it's like 4.2 on the cold side. Oh, I'm wrong. It's not 4.2. It's 2.6 centimeters. And on the small side, it's 2.5 4-ish. Anyhow, I guess the difference is larger if you look from the other side, because I made the back side smaller. Right, from the front side there's a bigger difference. Then we have 2.6 versus 3.5. Anyhow, the space that is here is where the speaker sits originally. But I had the idea that I would put the capture card, which is this thing here. I would put that in its place without its case, because it's basically the same size. The problem was to fit the connectors, because this capture card has one lead coming out one way and one lead coming out the other way, and the overall length with the connectors included exceeded the length that I wanted to build the case in. A solution for that would be to have right angle HDMI cables, but I didn't have suitable HDMI cables available, and since I'm prototyping, I didn't want that, like ordering cables, to hold me back, so I just built it as is. And oh boy, am I glad for that. Why am I glad? Yeah, because having the capture card in here would be fantastic. Then it would be just a HDMI cable out of it. It would be so simple. More consolidation. It would be effective because the space is already there. Great. But since I have made modifications to the capture card, which made it immensely fantastic. So the capture card, right? It's provided data and power via USB-C. It's a minimum of a 10 gig connection, because this is a fairly beefy capture card. So you need to have a cable that can do more than 10 gig. This is a 20 gig cable. And I probed with a multimeter the inside of the capture card to see if I could find some points where the capture card is supplying 5 volts. And it just happens to do so. I don't know if there's a voltage regulator in the capture card, or if the capture card is requesting 5 volts via PD from the computer it's connected to. So I don't know if this runs off the computer's power supply or if it runs off the built-in power supply. Don't know. But I soldered on 2 wires to it and had them come out the side of the case here and put a XT30 connector on them. And then I'm running that into a modified USB-C cable that is powering the GoPro directly. That allows me to have only one cable coming. There's 2 cables out of the GoPro, right? Power and HDMI. But only one cable coming out of the capture card going to the computer. So this takes care of both data and power for the GoPro. Fantastic. Because much easier to cable manage just one wire like this. And also, if I want to disconnect it, I put this Velcro tie around, and I have soldered this little tab. I welded this little tab to the capture card in order to hold the Velcro strap. And then when I pull it out, that's it. That's all I'm connecting to my helmet. That is powering the capture card and the GoPro. And that's convenient, just like for pulling it up, pulling it down, having one cable. If I now want to plug in my ATEM HDMI switcher, right? If I want to run a 4 camera, the idea with this is to put it in the car and have basically 4 GoPros mounted in the car. So we can do like passenger back, passenger front, out the window, driver, and then it's just a matter of plugging it in. And it will run all those cameras. So to switch between, a head-mounted camera to a switcher or anything else, I could take the Elgato face cam and just boop, the same cable, and it just works. And if I get more capture cards, I could have, one for wireless HDMI receiver we use for the Sony A7S camera when we do the high quality streaming, whatever you would call it. So the flexibility is fantastic, just having one cable into the computer for any camera, basically. Yeah. This is the power bank, whatever you call it. It's two 95 watt hour batteries, V-mount batteries, so they are capable of being connected via battery plate. Makes it super easy to swap them. No connections, you just latch it on and it gives power, take it off. I'm thinking of implementing a system like that, but that will come in a later version of this prototype. It is like the next major upgrade to it. I will, instead of having this 180 watt hour battery pack, have a 50 watt hour battery pack. I'm planning for two NPF batteries, two 550 NPF batteries that have 25 watt hours each. No wait, they have 50 watt hours each, but they're 7.2 volts. So when you put them up in parallel, in series, it becomes 14.4 volts. And wait, they're 7.4, so that will be 14.8 volts, which is the same as the V-mount batteries. And that's what I've based my system on. A lot of people do IRL streaming with 5 volt batteries, and that's all fine, but I don't think there's a 5 volt battery on the market which you can connect in parallel. And that's perfect, because if I ever want a longer runtime without replacing the batteries, right, I just put a third one in there and hook up a cable, and then we're Gucci. Now all of a sudden it's a 275 watt hour math. Yeah, it's like basically a 300 watt hour battery all of a sudden, and you can keep going indefinitely. And it's nice because you're also like these are capable of delivering 11 amps, you know. And if I put 3 of them in parallel, that's 33 amps. At 14.8 volts, we're talking 400 watts, something like that, something stupid. You could run a 3080 Ti on this, only for an hour though, but still. But this system uses about 17 watts total power. So you're using like 0 amps. So it's a very slow discharge, makes them quite efficient, and it allows them to be discharged to like 10.8 volts. And that's the cutoff for this specific battery. A lot of V-mounts cut off at 12 volts, and it's not recommended to go below 12 volts for longevity of the battery. But honestly, these are quite affordable V-mount batteries, so I run the heck out of them to get maximum watt hours based on the weight of the battery. And the computer, the Mac Mini, M1 Mac Mini, that is in this white case, has been tested down to 10.8 volts, and it runs perfectly stable. I haven't tested it at like max load, running 100% CPU or anything, because I never intend for it to do that. Like, again, streaming with an M1 Mac Mini uses 12 to 16% CPU, like total system power. So it's very easy for it to do it, and the reason it uses that much is that I'm streaming with X265, not H265. So I'm using software encoding at very fast preset, mind you. But I could definitely go to a fast. I can even handle a medium preset. I'm feeling though that the battery life is more important than the quality at that point, because then it starts using like 30 watts. 25-30 watts is sort of this one running at 80% power. Right, let's disassemble this. I have not yet tried to take this apart, and it's a little bit it's not inconvenient, but because of how this is held together, we will see it when we take it apart. It's a little it's a little bit of a process, and not something I want to be doing all too often. But I feel like the design is durable enough, and that it's not gonna like hurt the product. Some projects I've done, I will admit, it's been like you put it together and then you don't want to take it apart because you know something will break. So that's the band that's holding the whole thing. From the back you can see through the clear plastic the PCB. I did an 8-hour test stream yesterday, and I felt it dissipates quite a lot of heat towards my body. This is sitting on my stomach, so my stomach is here, and it does dissipate quite a lot of heat backwards towards me. I'm thinking of adding a bit of a pad with some air channels in to get some ventilation, so I don't get warm by it. It's perfect in the winter, but in the summer it's a little bit disadvantageous. So this little aluminum bracket on top of this steel housing is to hold the fan and to create cable strain relief and bump protection in the back. So the case is built, the PCB ends about here, and the case is built extended in order to protect the cables so that it can't break. But the way the cables come out, I found that it was not enough. And I'm really glad I didn't extend it as much as needed, because then it would be so long that my arm bumps into it up here in this corner. I would not have liked that, because it would have been out here. That would have been worse in an ergonomic standpoint. The tolerances is so tight in order to make this comfortable and out of sight. When I'm filming, I'm using a camera that's mounted to my chin, and I can look straight down and see my feet, and you don't see the computer. You see like maybe a corner of it if I'm leaning around. It's able to sit so flush with my body that it's basically invisible, and it's invisible to me as well in how it feels to use. This curve is designed this way in order for my forearm to rub against it very gently, and it's like super soft sanded, and you don't feel like it's there. Like for the entire stream yesterday, it was imperceivable that I had the setup on, other than the weight, and that comes down a little bit to this battery pack being so slim. I would like to extend it with a bit of a foam board or something, because it sits in the back and this sits in the front. So it sits on the lower back of my body, and it kind of wants to rotate. So I went jogging as a part of the test yesterday, and when jogging especially, it wants to tweak over like this, and that makes this edge not poke into the body, but it's not the most comfortable because most of the weight is leaning on that one edge. But if I just extend it by 5 centimeters, a couple of inches, is this thing, is it distorting? Oh, that's no good. Is it bad? Is it like unwatchable? Can you hear me speak? Thank you for announcing this to me. I have never tried this phone or this app to stream. Oh, this is the default Twitch app, but I've just never used it. And I'm streaming from an Android OnePlus 6T phone. So how bad is it? Am I too loud? Should I be more quiet? Wait. It's only like the high points. Okay, so it's not awesome, but is it decent? Maybe it's using my headphones. Let me try a thing. I just realized it might be using my Bluetooth headphones for audio. Let me just disconnect. There we go. Now they are disconnected. It's not loud, it's just this thing. Right. Is it better now? Or is it any different now that I've disconnected the headphones? Because it could be if it was my AirPods, right? AirPods are not very suitable. These are AirPods Pro. They're not very suitable to use in the bath because of the moisture. I mean, I haven't dunked them or anything, but just from sitting in a hot bath, in a hot tub, the moisture gets into the mics and ruins them. So it could very well be the earphones that we went through. because that would explain the bad audio. It's still doing it. Okay. That's most unfortunate. Is it... Okay, completely honest, is it so bad that I should stop the stream and fix it? Or can I keep going? Okay! Oh, yeah, you know I'm picky. That is fantastic. Keep going. Okay, fine. This stream is for my own sake, to be able to go back 5 years from now and see the current state of the rig. And instead of just like pressing record and uploading it to YouTube, I'm doing it live because Twitch is my platform. That's how I do things. So I'm really happy if people are interested. And it's also nice doing a rundown because I do get some questions, and to be able to link to this video will be perfect for those who are curious. It's probably going to be like a 2-hour video, but honestly, if you care to know the work I've put in, watch a 2-hour video and you'll see how it works. I feel like that's fair. Okay, let's keep going. Let's put that out of the way. Where were we? Yes, how smooth it is and why it is so fantastic. I'm going to put my earpods back in. I just love having the noise cancelling in. I get distracted by Siri singing otherwise. I think it's lovely having in the background. It's just, it stops me from being able to speak. We were talking about the form factor, that it's small, and the battery. Yes, we explained that I need to make the backrest go down a bit so it doesn't flop. That's easy fix, super easy. I even have the materials and everything ready. So we might even do that today. We'll see if we have time for it. The main objective with today's setup is to put in this tiny speaker. This is the stock M1 speaker. It weighs 8 grams and it's loud enough for IRL. So we've taken off the strap. I only need to take it off on one side, I think. We'll see about that. We might need to take it off on both sides. This silver aluminum bracket that is holding the fan in, it's only holding it in with pressure. Like the force and the way it's designed, it's holding it in. It's no glue, no zip ties, no wires, no nothing. So in order to take it off, it's bent around and it has these little tabs that keeps it latched. So to take it off, it's just a matter of pushing it out. And it pops off. And then there's some electrical connection. Have I disconnected the battery? I have. So there's no current. You just pull it up like that. And the fan will come out. And this is fairly flexible. So a couple of times I could just bend it up. But eventually it would fatigue and die. I think we should disconnect all the cables though. Realizing now that we won't get this out without removing the cables. But that's something we would need anyway. So let's just start unplugging the cables. And that means we can put the effort in and take out this band from the side too.
Or eat something and then keep playing. I don't know, either one. Or just have fruit and give you a quick energy for that. There are options. We have not done teenage dirt gardens, so it's on there. Your wishes today? Banana is a good idea. Yeah, we can totally do this like something with carbs, quick carbs, which will give you a blood sugar spike, and then I will crash.
Let's undo the
cables. Yeah, so I don't. What I mean to do, because we're in the freezer. I had 1 million bananas because I was going to freeze them. Now I have 1 million bananas in the freezer.
That's it. And then the HDMI. Oh, the HDMI is super tight. I probably don't need to take that out. This, I unfortunately broke this tiny extension when building this case. I kind of counted on ruining the cables when doing this build. because I wanted to have them connected so I could see the distance and the space I need and to design it to fit the cables. And I kind of counted on ruining a few of them. Luckily it's only $20. 15 maybe. So it's not the end of the world to have to replace it. Here's another XT30 connector. This one is for the computer power in case I don't want to use the battery pack. So this is the connectors going to the battery pack and to the camera. So USB-C for data and power to the GoPro that is sitting on my head, right? So in case I don't want to use this setup but I still want to use the PC, I added a connector here so I can use the battery pack right away like this. And I had the thought as well that I should make a female connector on a 12 volt power supply so I can use the computer without battery at all. So now we can put stuff away so we get more space. There we go. Right. Is that enough to take it out? Maybe. So this is the same connection as on the other side. It's just a little lip that holds it in place. Frankly, I could probably make it skinnier. I overdid it a little bit. And if I make it skinnier, I can take it out without removing the band, the belt. Well, I can still do it. Nice.
We went out to the park, we played at the playground, we went and splashed in
like
the
so.
water, it was super lovely, and
We
then
can lift
we
this
walked
off.
in the forest time. And he streamed the whole thing, and it didn't feel like he was streaming, so I just completely forgot that he did. It's so weird.
This thing is so light. I kind of would like to build a whole computer in this aluminum, but I don't have a welder for it. I only have a MIG welder. But I would like to take, I guess I could get the wire and the gas to weld aluminum with a MIG. Yes.
I just completely forgot that you streamed yesterday.
That's what I'm telling you. This new setup is so transparent, you forget it.
It's so unintrusive into the life that my brain just went, we were hanging out. We went to the park, we went for a walk. Completely forgetting that chat was there, that they were that was streamed. Only just got reminded of it now because Jordan was like, "Oh, that was so cute." I'm like, "Wait, when did you see him play?" Yeah. Wait a minute, how does it stream the whole thing? It's so weird. Are you live right now?
Yeah, I'm doing. I'm breaking down the rig, and I'm streaming with this here.
Oh, okay, we're watching there.
I'm streaming with this, and I'm breaking down the rig in order to archive the current state for myself. And also to put the speaker in so we can run alerts without headphones and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Okay. Let's take away the band completely.
Are you plan on streaming like the rest of the day or like for longer?
Yeah.
Cool. So I mean, if you guys wanna like see more of our life and see more.
There will be tech for like 2 hours, and then it will be Mother and you one comes by to barbecue later. So it'll be a barbecue stream.
We have a barbecue?
Yeah.
That sounds so lovely.
In the sun.
I really need that today.
Excuse the distraction. Right.
Well, anyway, yes. So Johannes is doing.
Do I need to do to take the board out? Probably nothing really. Oh fuck, I just realized the power connector. I have made the cable too short. Oh no, wait. No, that's fine, that's fine. I just need to take off this one zip tie. Right, well that's perfect. That means to pull the cord out, it's 2 zip ties. That's fair. Because now, that comes off. So this is a voltage regulator that gives me a USB port to charge the chat phone, and it provides a charging port for the batteries, and it provides an 8-volt out for the fan. And I could also use this 8-volt to power a mirrorless camera, like the Sony A7S cameras we have. I could power that from this as well. I just haven't added any connectors to it. I'm contemplating doing it, but I figured having an extra female DC barrel or an XT30, honestly, it's kind of unnecessary, because I don't think I'll be using it all that often for that. Because the Sony A7S III, which is the one that's most likely to be used, has its own 16-volt to 8-volt in line with the battery dummy. So I don't really need to use this one for that, even though I could. But this is more like if I would run 2 cameras, or honestly one of the A7S Mark 1s we have, I could need to use this one. But I decided not to, because I didn't see it as a likely scenario right now, and it's a matter of just splicing into this cable. So it's pretty easy. Right, let's continue taking this out. I'm not sure I can get this one out by just pulling at it. It's broken, so we can just yank. It's so tightly packed in here. But we'll see if we can get it out. Don't want to ruin the Bluetooth antenna. It's perfect. We did it. So this gap is designed to be holding the cables in. For something like the USB-C cable, it's still fairly loose. If I were to plug this in, because this is so much thinner. So in the final version, we're putting some hot snot in it. Lost, thank you for giving me your Prime sub. Thank you. Yeah, mine is a tech channel and life. You know what I like to do, tech and life. So thank you for dropping that Prime sub. Right, next up, we probably want to remove the power connector, or we can try to disconnect it from the board when we take it out. We definitely... Oh no, I'm thinking I've hot glued all the power cables going to the computer and the Wi-Fi antenna wire, but we gotta try to keep them on there and see if we can just take out the case as is. We're gonna need to pry off this. See if we can take off the hot glue. Hot glue is my best friend. I use it for absolutely everything because it provides such good strain relief. And it comes off in one piece, so it doesn't like leave glue residue. You can just pull it off. Most of the time in one piece. Hi, Duba. Yeah, Siri is quite loud. That's why we love her. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's extra loud. Well then, you can hear me on the street. That makes sense considering we are in the same space and I'm speaking. Well, if I was just speaking like this, I wouldn't be so loud. But I'm speaking like this, which is straight to the mic, which is then being broadcasted through our massive speakers. Wait, let's see so it doesn't... It could be stuck in something. No, we're fine. There we go. That's the back case. So before we put it together again, we are to remove all the hot glue. So we can apply new hot glue.
Oh, this makes so much sense. I know why I've been crying so much.
So here we disconnect the power cable, the power connector, the one that turns on and off the computer. And then I think that's all we need to do to lift out the PCB. Note to self, it helps removing the, I'm going to do it right now, USB for the wireless keyboard. I really need to get a Bluetooth keyboard instead of using that thing. Right, will this work? I think so. I think the cables are long enough. I might not be able to put it down. So the power cable has a, let's see. The power cable has a connector. I can't take it off. I don't want to because it's so tight on the board. And I have modified the original connector, so it's a little tight because it stuck out and it came out backwards in the stock form. So I removed the female that was soldered to the PCB, and I just have the pins sticking straight out. And this is the Wi-Fi antenna that we have right here.
I have really not struggled with it much at all. And here's the thing, it has a lot to do, like whether you get paid, whether you
just trying to see if I can
so much to do with like
remove a box, but I couldn't. Right, so this is the Wi-Fi antenna. And it's not gonna come off because it has a strain relief screwed onto it. And I guess from this position we could mount the speaker. Taking off the screws. The speaker sits here originally, but I'm thinking that I want to place the speaker outside instead for better audio quality. It will like vibrate and come out the side, but I'm thinking let's just sit it there.
Every month for this woman. Dude, I feel like it's like for every woman. Well, a lot of the women I know are just as bad as I am, but I'm not pretty bad.
I'm thinking that this will fit here. Like that. And then over there will be a shroud. Right? It'll come over here. So it will still be protected. So all I need to do that is to extend the wires a little bit. So we need to cut this and solder on new wires to this giant cable. This might be the dumbest idea ever. Because like, is it worth the work to just have a little bit better sound? The shroud covering the heatsink? Yeah, that's how it's designed. The shroud is there to hold the fan. So the fan is sitting on top of the heatsink, and then this is sitting on top of the fan. This is aluminum, so it's like heat dissipating. Plus, like, the computer is running at 16%. So that's the whole purpose of the shroud, is to hold the fan in place and to protect the cables. The cables from the PCB is coming out into this area here and protecting it. And it sits... I mean, if you stick around, you'll see when I build it. But it's also protecting them from my arm. I'm sort of feeling like I should be taking this apart more. Because the risk of me pulling the cables a little too firmly. I'm like... So it's the Wi-Fi antenna that is the shortest.
I'm trying to figure that out.
Should I put the speaker inside?
I don't even know.
No.
But I'll figure it out.
No, I really want it on the outside. Plus then, eventually, I have the wires on the outside. So if I want to change it to a bigger speaker, I can do it. I don't know how many watts this board supplies, but a bigger element, sure, it's harder to drive, but it will sound better still. So I might upgrade the size of the speaker in the future, and therefore just having the wires come out the case means I don't have to disconnect it in order to do it. So let's just put this aside. And extend the cables. So anyone see where I put the speaker?
You don't look 30, by the way. Thank you.
Right. So let's untwist the wires.
There's chronological age and then there's biological age.
This is like the thinnest thinnest of wires. We could probably solder it. Probably, maybe. Probably, maybe. Let me just plug in the soldering iron. And let's grab some wire. Don't yet know what wire we're going to use. We'll figure that out.
What? No, I'm not. Oh, yeah, it's in.
So how long does it need to be? We could use this fancy silicone wire, because that's sort of like what I want to use for everything. Dude, once you try silicone wire, you never want to go back. If anyone has a negative about silicone wire, please share, because I can't find a single one. Oh, it feels so sexy. I just absolutely love it. This is 22 gauge, and I have 18 gauge too. And that 18 gauge is plenty for the 100 watts that I plan on running through it. Max 100 watts. The batteries are capable of 150 watts each, so when they're connected 3 in parallel, I could do 450 watts, but I will never run 450 watts. And I don't know how much this is rated to, but when I did the math before I got the 18 wire gauge, I figured it was enough for the 100 watts. And 100 watts will only be for charging, so I'm planning on having a charging system for this IRL rig that I can charge with 100 watts. And since it's using 17 watts while streaming, that means I can charge it at 4x the speed whilst being used. So if I charge it for 10 minutes, I can stream for 40, which means I can top it off on like car rides, or if I'm sitting down for dinner, I can just have a charger plug in to extend the battery life, rather than carrying all the batteries with me all the time. I think that's going to be great. Right, but now we're talking speakers, which they don't need a lot. But still, I mean, what's the drawback of using this cable other than being mismatched in size? The tiny wires that are inside the speaker housing. That's the problem. I might use like networking wire. I think that's probably the thinnest, because all of these are 22. And it's, oh wait, I have this fan cable as well. This is not 22, this is something very small, more similar to it, but it's short. Yeah, so if they're too dissimilar in thickness, it might be hard to solder them together. Let's use it, because it's just so nice. Now, Apples don't specify which is positive and negative, right? As I recall. No. Can you see something on this little thing? And for this use case, it doesn't really matter, because I can just chop one and plug it into whatever color I want to. As long as they are connected together, it's going to be fine. Oh, I guess I could test it with a battery. If you connect a speaker to a battery, you can see if the cone goes in or out, and that way determine which lead is positive and negative. Because when you provide like a 1.5 volts to the speaker, it will just boop, suck in or boop, push out.
I like how they toss it.
To figure out the polarity, but I don't know. I won't need it for this use case, and why it matters is it would help me to wire up the right. This is like, you can see how thin it is, right? This is a 22 American wire gauge cable next to the stock cable. So I'm not gonna bother with polarity. I'm a little nervous about soldering into this because it's so thin. But hey, let's just pray and hope it works. Plus I have very short amount of lead. So it's gonna be a bit of a tricky one. Let's do them one at a time. And how much cable do we want? Approximately. That ought to be enough to come out the case. Let's take a little extra. Deal with final length once it's back in the box. Right, so we will come from there. Oh, that's like twice as long as it needs to be, that's fine. Right, let's see if we can do this. I have the soldering iron normally just hangs off the desk. I got an idea. If you just give me one moment. Want to have another clamp? Alright, this is even better. There we go. Need to adapt it down to 1/4 inch. And then we'll screw on this magic on. Like so. So I can hold the soldering iron. Aha! That'll make it a little easier for me. Right, so this wire is so thin that I think I'm gonna heat a wire. Burn it off. I get a lighter.
So he did do like some tech stuff that was sort of like that was part of the stream, but he was mostly focusing on doing the gaming.
It's silicone wire. It's like heat resistant. If it was a PVC shielding, it would be fine. Damn it, Apple. Why do you have to make good stuff? There we go. Let's tin it. Jesus, that's a small cable. Maybe one of the smallest I've ever soldered. I almost need to bring out the microscope for that. Well, let's put some heat shrink. Right, It's over my... I don't even know if I've heat shrink thin enough for this. No, probably works. Hot glue. Hot glue is great for everything. I'm a big proponent of hot glue. I love it. Windows ME. Are you into like old computer stuff? I might be lost. I mean, ME makes me nostalgic. So yeah, the heat shrink is perfect for the 22 gauge, but yeah, it didn't do much for the the Apple cable. Dude, this is the best. I got it from Blackjack, if you know who that is. He sent it to me as a gift. It's absolutely fantastic. This and the Cobra. Like the ultimate camera tools. The Cobra. Because you tighten so much like these... everything in the camera industry, it's like perfect for it, for fasteners that's being used. We're not gonna have it this long, are we? No. Are we gonna wing it? How can I be scientific about it? There, just just add a little extra. It's gonna be fine. Worst case, we shorten it again. There we go. Are you guys tinkerers? I just love doing things quick and dirty. Because I have learned that if I try to make it perfect, I change my mind anyway. Like, what is perfect, Come up with new ideas. So things tend to be so temporary that quick and dirty is the way. If it works, it's perfect. Is the power in this one? Yeah. We want a little bit more light. These lights are fantastic, but if Aperture, who makes them, are listening, please don't put an OLED display, because it gets burnt in. I don't know if I can show you this. Will you see it? So like the numbers, they have like ghosts on them. It's more visible in real life. It's actually a little bit hard reading the value, especially around the 4. This is 4200 Kelvin, and it's a little hard to read the numbers because of the burn-in. Again, it's worse for the eye than the camera. Such a shame because the light is fantastic, and then the panel goes like difficult to read. Where do we put it? All right, we have this thing. I have another magic arm just off camera I can use for light. Oh, that's so good. Let's see. Just a bartender? Dude, that's so much fun. I used to work as a nightclub photographer, so I hung out with a lot of bartenders. I did try bartending like a little bit. Mostly when they needed someone to like fill in. It's like, sure, I can do it. But it's a hell of a fun job. Especially if you're someone who likes like nights and the lifestyle. Oh shit. Ah! Don't touch the soldering iron, guys. Some flux to clean this thing.
I managed to hit myself in the tooth, and now I managed to hit myself in the nose. Cox, that hurts so much. Dicks and cocks. Ow. My nose.
Soldering iron is so dirty. So dirty.
I'll live. I'm sure I'll live. What am I doing? I'm trying to play it with the cable on. That's the cable is here. Oh my god, it's sensitive.
What the eh?
I blame not eating on all of it. I had a dream about her, she was not felt.
Does not want to solder.
Half an hour, oh how she rocks the cans into stars. But she doesn't know who I am.
So I wonder if it's that it's too dirty, or that it doesn't take the heat. Just doesn't want the solder. The solder sticks to the wire itself when I solder it. Although it doesn't flow fantastic, I can't say. And it did give a good connection on the other one, so it's probably just this thing being too dirty. Try to get some solder off. Remove more insulation. Yeah, that might be what I have to do. We'll start with bringing out some clean wire on the other. Because that solder's just fine. When in doubt, add more flux. Sorry for the struggling. Hi, Dark Crusader. I imagine this being a combination issue of very dissimilar wires. Gauge. Super shitty. Like, this is like the cheapest solder you can buy. And a dirty soldering iron. But now it took. That's it. So yeah, it's a combination of like everything you should avoid when soldering. Shitty tip. I think it's the biggest issue. Did I forget to put on the heat shrink? Classic. I did. Didn't I cut up a piece? Wait, did I? Oh, I'm hopeless. I forgot to put on the second piece of. So I just cut this wire just to put on heat shrink, and I could have used electrical tape. But since this is going to be like out and exposed, I didn't want the risk of the electrical tape unwinding over time. So I cut the wire and made a soldering joint extra. But I forgot to put on the heat shrink for that extra soldering joint. Banger song she's playing in the background. Like to cut away any potential sharp edges. Where did my heat shrink go? Are you kidding me? No. Did I drop it? Like when I did the... It's not on here, that's for sure. So wherever it is. Third time's the charm. Now they need more solder. I burnt it all away.
I love this song. It's great. You like Mo? It's brown eyed and I'm his voice just fits perfectly with the song. Like there's no better voice for the song than his voice. It's so good.
This time we succeeded. No. Cold soldering joint.
It's so good. It's so good.
Really need to add more solder when I fail like 2-3 times. So some fresh on there.
Because I enjoyed it and I would love to play it again sometime. It's Teenage Dirtbag. It's What's Not to Love. I was gonna say rock pop, right? Power pop. Power rock, I mean. Power pop? I don't think that's enough. Oh wait, this is genre. Alternative rock, pop rock, and power pop. I did not know what power pop was.
Nice.
This is for pop rock. Power pop.
Let's cut the second word. Now I have to remember as well that these are labeled black and red, but they are not necessarily black and red. As I have literally no idea which is which.
Black singer sing that. He has a very similar voice. Yes. How did this happen? What? I swung it down to the floor, and I swing it up, and I'm like, why is it so heavy? And behind the shirt has just attached itself to my jaw.
There we go.
How did this happen? Also, how did I not notice until I see it in the corner of my eye? I'm like, wow, it's really heavy. Oh, it's such a weird day. Ooh. Another one. This next one is going to be a nostalgia run. Don't think anyone really holds it that high, LOL. New York. New radicals, you get what you give.
Let's use a tongue here because my fingers get a little too hot.
Wow, look at the quality on this video. Look at it. Wow, that must be like, what, 360p? That just the whole video looks like, the whole video looks like 90s, no, early 2000s. Hold on. You just found a ready-made sandwich in the kitchen. Forgot about that one. How long has it been there? You made yourself a sandwich, don't forget. And then got a pleasant surprise. That's fair. It's every time you get timed out is when you write lol. Literally, every time you've gotten timed out for the like unauthorized Unicode thing, it's you saying LOL. Every time you say LOL, just like if you say LOL, do it again. Say LOL and nothing else, and see if it happens again. Because I think you cannot laugh out loud in this stream. No, and now it did time me out. Okay, that's so weird.
heat shrink. Let's not forget it this time. It's stuck, but I missed some of the wires. So we'd better do it again. I think I'm gonna add some more solder to the speaker side of things. That's why I really don't like to solder. It's hard even getting solder to stick to it. Nice. Oh shit. Luckily I had silicone wire. Can't burn it. I was just setting it on fire there for a second. There we go. One extended cable. And I think we're gonna put some heat shrink around the whole thing, if we have a suitable heat shrink for it, to create some strain relief. Because the plug is smaller than the cable itself. You know, it's it's not many days you can just push a connector through the heat shrink. Let's start on the other end, because that's the more important. It will be in the elements. So I want this to be both strain relief and well, then again it makes it kind of difficult to place it around, so I'm probably going to do that instead. There we go. Because I don't need like double layering the heat shrink. Yeah, it will be connected to the built-in amplifier. So the Mac will think it's its own speaker, so not that that really matters, but nice. So I put it in a bit twisted, so it'll be easier to bend and mold it. I think I want to put some of that heat shrink around. Around the connector that will be inside of the computer. So is that too big? Just like a... It's a little big. Like a little condom. It's too small instead. Let's use the big one. It's gonna be fine. It's just like, in case one of the solders comes off, I like to have an extra layer or protection inside it. It feels good. Right. Now we can clean off the desk. As I recall, there won't be any more soldering. I don't think there will be any more soldering. So I want to clean off so we don't have any bits of lead laying around. I mean, it's lead-free solder, so it's not that. You know what? Yes. Now we're going to feed this in next to the Wi-Fi antenna cable. Yeah, this feels like a detour, so now we're back to the fun stuff. There we go. I'm going to remove this felt pad from the bottom, and I think we're going to hot glue the whole speaker to the case when we get that far. Let's see if we can plug it in. It would have been really nice if I undid the cables, as then I wouldn't have had any constraints. It would be very easy to plug it in. Now it's going to be a bit trickier since the wires are so short. But I think I'll manage. That's another perk of me making it so long.
Oh. Yeah. Wow, that just... I wasn't giving over. We kind of didn't. I saw the signs, but I was like, no, fine. I was like, what if I keep pushing it, it would be bad. And then I got so caught up. I didn't let it get going.
It has this lovely connector you just click in on the PCB. Just want to make double sure, because when it's in, I can't test it until it's like all buttoned up again. Can I give you guys a close-up of this? Maybe. So the speaker cable is the red and... Let's see. Can you see it? This one with my thumb. That's the speaker cable, and these two are Bluetooth, and the third one is Wi-Fi. Just make sure we don't pinch any wires, and then we're gonna set it back in the case. This box, I made it out of sheet metal.
I am going most likely to have a panic attack.
Go ahead, and, have fun.
And I would appreciate a hug. If it's not too much to ask. It's okay if you can't.
I can put this down. I lay you down in the sun, right behind, so you can sit down, sit on your butt, and lay down, and let's slide. Oh. We good? Do you want, I have a, like, you're really not gonna like it, but you might like it.
No.
You will do it, not me. We'll put this on your belly, close to your heart. I love you. You okay?
Yeah.
You want me to stay? Right. Oh, you mean the guts, right. This is a Mac Mini. The PCB is a Mac Mini. What are we? So let's just make sure we're not forgetting anything. The power cable that we can plug in when it's situated in the case. Making sure no wires are getting pinched. It's looking good. It's now in. So this is what I use for IRL streaming. It's a Mac Mini without its case, in a custom case. Let's bring out the power cable. Plug that in. These ribbon cables are so tiny, it's hard to film putting it in, really. Push it down. Sweet! Let's see if we have any cables interfering or something like that, or if they're all laying nicely before we button it down. That's better. That's good. The box itself is sheet metal fabricated specifically for this. Like you see this this bolt here. It's to house the Ethernet port and then it's just made to be as slim as possible. That said, now that I have it apart before I put it together, I had the idea that I would grind down this edge more. Should I do that whilst I'm at it? Fuck. I had some modifications I wanted to do. Well, the guts is a Mac Mini. It would be the time to do it. I have a few modifications I'd like to do to the case. Now we're gonna break it down and rebuild it soon anyway, because that's what I always do. So I'm just looking at saving a few millimeters on this edge, and it doesn't really make a big difference. It's just trying to be efficient about it. The mic is poop. I don't know what it is. I'm speaking quite quietly. It's still distorting at times. I've been made aware of it. We're doing the best we can with the situation. I need to adjust where the power cable comes in. It will be in the way of an Ethernet port in there. So we gotta see if we can maybe pull it out a bit. Yeah, there we go. So that we don't get caught up in it when we plug an Ethernet cable in. That's good. Now we're ready to put it back together again. Oh, no. It's good that you tell me. Like, if I didn't know, it would have been really nice to get to know. I'm just using our cell phone, the OnePlus. And I don't know if the app is the problem or if it's the mics. But something is causing issues. So the hot glue we have on here, it's not really like sealing it up, making it waterproof, but it helps with dust, and mostly it's to hold this case in. Behind this case, it's not like structural or anything, because behind, like, this lid goes on top of it, and then there's the band that holds the whole computer that goes over it. So I could just put it loose in place and it would not go anywhere. But it helps to deter some dust, and that's kind of neat. Welcome back. Let me turn on the glue gun. this antenna came off, which is not a problem. Just thinking if I should get it out and clean it up before I put it back in, or if I should just put it in. So when I put it in, the computer wasn't in it, so that made it a bit easier. Now that the computer is here, I'm not sure I'll be able to put hot glue on it. And I don't really need to, because it's going to be held in place by the HDMI cable I'm putting in. That's going to be jamming. It's so tight in there that it doesn't need to be fastened. So it would more be like to help me than anything. Is this any thicker? Yes, it is, right? So this is the HDMI cable I used to have. And this is the one I'm gonna put in. And if we put them up next to each other, hard to see, but it's a little thicker. And it was tight with the other one. This might not even fit in the case. It does. It fits in the case, so that's not a problem, but the antenna might be in the way. Solutions for that would be to plug it in first and then put the case in. So to put it through, plug it in, and then have it go with the computer. It's an extra step, but I think it's going to be worth it. Let's do it. Because I really want to be able to plug a monitor in. So I really want, what I want is like just this short HDMI cable, and then plug an extension into it, rather than to have like a 10-meter cable sitting off my chest when I'm streaming. Sorry that I'm not getting any good angles for you guys. It's really hard just getting it in there. Like so. What cable is the shortest? Is it still the Wi-Fi? I think so. Maybe if I get it in on a diagonal. Now the power cable is too short, so I have to undo the power cable. So I can rotate the computer out. Have a good time, Blizzard. Let's see if I now can finagle it in. I'm afraid that the Wi-Fi and power cable might be too short, because I can't, yeah, I won't be able to get it back enough. Can I get the Wi-Fi antenna out of the way enough then? Because I can have that sitting like this. Right, so Lost is asking what the premise of this build. This build is to enable documenting my life out of a first-person kind of view. And the reason I'm going with a Mac Mini over a, say, a Live View Solo or like a Bella Box or any other streaming device is that this is the most capable device if I don't want to run a secondary server. Like none of the other devices can put on overlays and play alerts and be on Discord and do screen capture or something like that. So if I want to browse the interweb, for example, and I want to share that with you, this is like a complete computer that works like any desk stream would, but it's battery powered and on my chest. So it enables me to stream whatever, really. Really easily. Trying to get the HDMI in place. This is going to be so tight if I manage to get it in even. We'll do our best to try. Gotta make sure all the cables are like in the right order here. Dude, I don't recommend anyone to do this. I will admit the case is unnecessarily tightly built. But it was needed in order to have it where I want to have it on my body. Any larger and it would like feel, it would be in the way when I'm wearing it. There we go. Now we have the port line up. I do not have a 3D printer, but I have a good friend, community member, the Moby, who is really keen on 3D printing stuff for us. He did the original case for this was a 3D printer. Is there? Is the 3D printed version. But this is like, if you push on it, it will break. And I preferred steel for that reason. It's more durable. And the design of this had a lid, and the heatsink was within this enclosure. My design has the heatsink on the outside of the case. So if I seal the front where the port comes in, this will be rainproof. But the heatsink is on the outside. You'll see when I turn this around what I mean. And that enables me to make this life-proof. Like it will never really be like submergible waterproof, but rain is my goal. So you see here that the heatsink is on the outside of the case. So if I seal this, right, it will be great cooling, but still waterproof. Because you can get, I don't know if the 40mm fan is available in a waterproof, but Noctua makes the larger fans waterproof at least. Slim screwdriver to see if I can fish out the power cable. Is it stuck somewhere? Probably. Oh, hot glue. Maybe I should move the hot glue gun. I burnt myself on it twice now. Can we plug the HDMI in? Yes. Dude, that cable is going to be so thick in there. Like the computer won't fall out just because of how tight the HDMI cable is. But I'm also worried that I have pinched cables. That's fine. Let's clear it off the HDMI port. Fan even necessary? Without the fan, it works. CPU runs about 70 degrees. But there's a MOSFET that becomes about 110. And the MOSFETs are rated, as far as I know, to 120. So it's like, it's within spec, it doesn't shut off. But I want to be able to put this inside of a bag, for example, with even worse airflow. And then it feels like it would shut off on me. Let's try it with a USB-C cable, making sure we don't interfere with anything. Because now the antenna is a little bit more to the side than it was before. Wait, that's the lightning port. Why doesn't it fit? Dude, I'm so excited about Apple going over to USB-C. It'll still fit. That's the slim one though, so I'm afraid we might have to rip the antenna out and remove the hot glue underneath it in order to fit both cables. I want to try that before we do anything else, because otherwise we're ready to hot glue. This computer, it's an M1 Mac Mini. That works. And the network port is not interrupted by the antenna. And the antenna will stay in place just from the HDMI cable, so I don't need to put hot glue on it. It's just, it would be easier if I had hot glue on the antenna to plug the cable in and out, but I will never plug it in and out on the go from this side. So it's like, it's going to be in there permanently, so that's going to be fine. Double check the antenna wire and the power cord, so they run freely. That's good. Will it sit down in the case? Yes, it feels like it's bending a little bit. Like the HDMI is so tight that I'm a little bit bending the PCB in order to get it down where I want it. That is suboptimal. Or is it a cable in the way? Ah. Ah. One moment. Need to investigate this. Can you see this? Can I see this? Can anybody see this? I think the antenna cable is what's stopping the HDMI from going down all the way. It is. So it would have to be above the HDMI port to clear it. That sucks in 12 ways. Right, so we take it out again. We live and we learn. Just want to create a little bit of a gap that I can fish the antenna cable out of. so that we can get the antenna cable over the HDMI lead. Like that. Haha! Let me just... Oh, 7 a.m. Have a good one, Lost. Thanks for stopping by. I think that is as in as it will go. Right. Now the HDMI cable is properly seated. Now this HDMI cable is too thick. Sheesh, I burnt myself before. It's a little too thick. So solutions for that would be to get it to come over this ridge. Or bend out. Could bend out the whole case. Right? I think that could help it. Because it needs to come this way, right? We're talking a mill to allow it to sit completely down. That's better. We don't want to put too much strain on the circuit board. Hi. Well, hi, Mother. That's a good question. I guess something to barbecue? Or was it expected that we would provide? There we go. Just a little bit of insulation tape, because there's one point that is a little too close for comfort to the case. Oh, power cable. Oh, that would have been a joy to figure out. I wouldn't have noticed until the computer didn't turn on. A power switch. It's not a power cable. Oof. Again, making sure the ribbon cable does not impede the network port. There we go. We could put like a dab of hot snot on there, I think. And I'll just push it down onto it. Just make it a little bit easier to plug in and out the cables. There we go. Power cable, USB-C ports, HDMI's in. This would be a good time to plug the USB for the wireless keyboard back in. Do I need that? When am I ever going to use it? It is convenient though, especially if I hook it up to a computer, until I find myself a Bluetooth keyboard. Let's do that. Let's put the back on, finally. Right, with the new placement of the antenna, I need to adjust this. It's like a few millimeters too thick where the antenna sits. That should do it. And these are spacers I've made to hold the lid down. Right, now with the antenna I might not need that one. Hold itself in place anyway. One moment, please. Will even a network cable fit in there? Yeah, it will be a pain to get out. But in it will go. I don't think I need that one. The case sits so tight now with a thicker HDMI cable that I can skip that one in the middle. Just put the two on the sides in there, and that will work just fine. Siri? She might be outside. I thought I heard her. Let's see if we can get this to dry a bit. Was there anything else I wanted to hot glue? Yes, the speaker itself. I just love hot glue. It's fantastic. Let's see. Where do we put the speaker? So it's, it's a speaker, right? So it's partially magnetic. So it will hold itself in, sort of. I think we want to put it like that. Just making sure the cable is not getting too pinched. And let's imagine and see if this will interfere somehow. It will be there. It won't. Actually, let's put it like this. That'll be less restricting for airflow. Not that I think it will be like any real issues with airflow. Right. I'll settle this. It's a little sticky still. Maybe we wait. Maybe we hold off, just letting it settle. Otherwise we can't put it down without making a mess. Let's figure out if anything is missing. I don't think so. This is becoming quite a long video. I was like expecting to be done within 2 hours, maybe even getting a second part of the project going. But it takes as long as it needs to, right? It will be fine. Siri, do you want anything from the store?
No.
Let's double check the hot glue. See if we have any holes. I see a little hole there. Again, it's not meant to be waterproof, but I think it's more important to seal it from the back than from the front because of moisture coming off the body. I have no intention of streaming in the rain with this setup in its current state. Although I do think it's very possible to do. If I just seal off the front and I touched it, didn't ruin it. Oh, fine. If I just put a little bit of hot glue around the heatsink, there's a felt packing along the heatsink on the inside that it rests on. I don't think that's enough to deter rain. But if I were to put a bead of hot glue around, and I do think it would handle it thermally, as it sits on like 36 degrees with the fan spinning at 9 volts instead of 12. So I don't think it would overheat because I'm gooping some hot glue on there. Right. Let's do this. And the cable ended up being a little too long. Honestly. But better that than too short. Trying to figure out placement. I don't think it will have any difference, like acoustically speaking, but it's more I want it to be underneath this shield, so I don't want it sticking out too much. this way. So let's use that mark as a guide. Hot glue. That's too much. And the hot glue is not like to provide real structural rigidity, because I won't ever bump it. It's under that shroud. So it's going to be held in place safely. It's just a safety precaution, I guess. As I see myself jogging with this computer on my belly, I want to make sure it doesn't come undone. If I could, I would get a bead along the side here, but can I get the angle? Yes. I think that's it. Turn it off for now. Sweet. Next step then would be to plug in the USB-C cable and put on the shroud. No, wait, shroud first. So fan and power cable. I love that it's not interfering. It's great. Let's see if I can bend that heat fin a little bit. It's not a great idea, is it? I think it's better having it flapping loosely than to squeeze it into that gap. I had it squeezed in there before, but it's not a safe thing. Because like, what if it wears over time and cuts a hole? This is very thick insulation on this cable. I picked this cable because it has an outer sheathing. Otherwise I would have used the silicone wire that I have. But I wanted to be extra secured since it's close to those fins. Somehow I feel... No, it's too tight. Let's have it loose. Put the fan back. And that's fine. So the HDMI cable is going to bend upwards and all the other cables are bending downwards. We'll see why in a bit. This shroud pokes through this brace. That's how the computer is being held onto my stomach. Like that. And then on the other side it sort of pinches like a clamshell around. So it goes around and like that. And the fan slides in under. I guess it would have been easier to do that first before I lock it in. So the fan is being held in by friction of this mount. It can be adjusted a little bit once it's clicked into place. Like so. And now we can see the speaker positioning. Should I remove it? Because I'm like, Why is it not hidden completely under it? Why is it like partially protruding? Wouldn't it be neater looking if it was... If I hold it like this, we don't see it. But yeah, if I hold it like this, it's like sticking out 4 millimeters. It will make for better sound probably. And the risk of me poking the membrane is very slim. But it would be safer further in. Now let's keep it like that. It's not the end of the world. Again, this is just prototyping, and I'd really like not to remove it. Right, so next up we're going to secure the power cable with a zip tie. Let's put in the... No, let's do it first. It's going to be fine. So this is the charge port for the computer's battery and a USB port to charge the chat phone. Fan could be poked up a little bit. That's pretty good. Right. Next up we have the power cord for the belt pack, but before that we're going to put in the belt itself. You're gonna have to think now so we do it the right way around. Just so the battery won't end up being upside down. Yeah, like that. This is probably the hardest part of the whole build, getting this fed through here. So this is the band that belt sort of that holds the whole rig together and that attaches it to my body. And it serves double duty as it's also holding this shroud over in place. So in order to get it in, as I recall, I had to... Did I loosen it? Oh my, and now with the longer HDMI port I might not be able to do that. Well, this is going to be a fun one. I think I loosened it. So the HDMI cable that I took out, which is this one, was shorter. The new one is probably out to here. So it protrudes past the point. So I can't just easily undo this in order to fit this belt. So a solution would be to cut off this double stitched extra fat pit, because it would make it go through, but then I need to restitch it in order to create that extra safety. That this double folded part that is thicker than the rest makes it harder to fall out of the buckle when it's underweight. But you know, we might just be lucky and be able to pull it through. It's worth a try anyway, before we modify the belt. Looks like it fits in there. Very tight. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that when I did this last time I had that part out, so I put it in first. If I disassemble the shroud completely, will I be able to put it on with the rope in, with the belt in? Because it's not like, I don't need to remove the zip tie even to unbuckle it. Well worth a try. Because I am not confident that I will manage to get it in there otherwise. It's amazing that everything is made so tightly because it sits together superbly when it's in. Getting it in. Oh boy. Even without the shroud, this is going to be tricky. We are in like sin. Right? Now the question is, can we get the shroud on there? This is going to be so tight. It doesn't need to have that thick of a lip, and it's going to make it significantly easier maneuvering it down there. I mean, whilst we're at it, we could shave down the other side a little bit as well. That's probably better. If you have any chance of getting it on, now would be the best odds. Now we have thinned it down as much as I dare, while still having a hopefully good grip on it. So now it fits in under the HDMI cable. Will I be able to rotate it to lock into place? So the whole shroud is like so close to getting in there. And if we just push, it will interfere with the HDMI quite a bit. Maybe we can get it down. It wants to. It wants to go down there. Thinking if I can use some lever action. Or maybe, wait, I have a new idea. If I pull it out completely and try to get it to slide in from the side. Just turn it around the other way. Yeah, because then I can get it out and through before I even hit the HDMI cable. So that hopefully isn't even pushing on it, because it starts out further down. Now it starts getting tight. Let's just double check so we don't bind up on anything. It seems good. Yeah, I think it will work. Ooh, that was tight. Sheesh. That was tight. But we got it in there. And now you see how the little ledge here of the bracket, right, comes out on the bottom, and then the band goes over it, holding it in place. Now it comes out underneath here and sort of follows the line of the belt. This shroud is made like the same width as the belt. So it's, I mean, that's not an aesthetic choice. It's more like if it would be wider, it would be unnecessary and it wouldn't fit into this slot that was made. This shroud was an afterthought in order to hold the fan and to better protect the cables in here, so that I don't bump them and break them. See if we can put the fan in now. And we will do the same routine on this side, where we feed the cable through, the belt through first, to make it easier for ourselves. Like so. Then we put the shroud back. Let's roughly put the fan in place. Push the shroud over. See if it can go in. Click. So the shroud performs double duty. Yeah, cable protection and strain relief, and it holds the fan in place. And the fan ain't going nowhere. You can go jogging with it. Absolutely perfect. Let's feed some more. Right, will I be able to pull it through? I am. Then we put on the buckle. Might be repeating myself here a bit, but this bit, if someone just tuned in, is a USB port for charging my chat phone, and a charge port for the batteries, and an 8-volt adapter for the fan, all in one. That time for the buckle. Perfect. So the cable is secured here, so no matter how much I pull here, it won't pull out the connections with the zip tie here for strain relief. It's awesome. And it will just sit there. And then we have, let's see, the extension for the power pack. These are XT30 connectors. They're very popular in the RC community. People doing aeroplanes and boats and stuff. They are available in different amp rating, like they're called XT30 and then XT60, and I think there's even bigger, and it might be smaller, but this was sufficient amp rating for my use case. And it just tucks in here. I had a special way of doing this. I think this way. Like that. Let's feed the USB-C cable as well through the other side. So we can plug it in. Is that an there? I'd like some light now, please and thank you. I can't even see this myself, so it's very hard for me to show this to you.
Where do you want to go?
I'm more feeling where the USB-C port is.
Where do you want to go, baby?
Connected. See if there's enough space in here now. Let's try to pull everything out again, so we can get the C port in. Because again, for strain relief, I'd put a bit of extra here before I secured it, in order to make sure that even if I pull the cable by mistake, it will not unplug it. Something like that.
I think we need a little snot spoon or something.
No, wait, it went in there. Right. So I could secure... Right, now I remember. So we went to here in order for me to secure it with a zip tie. That's how I done it. Your grandma's calling, Siri. Nice. Now we just need to tuck this cable in as well. Put it in there. So I left myself quite a lot of extra power cable here, in order to be able to use a different power supply if I need to, or if I want to.
You want to go outside again? Or do you want to make a smoothie?
Maybe I just put a second zip tie there to hold it in neatly.
You want to look for Grandma's... What's peace? Keys? Say it again. Grandma's? Grandma's wheels.
Yes.
What wheels? What kind of wheels? Car wheels?
Many wheels.
Many wheels?
No, 2 wheels.
2 wheels. Is it a bicycle? You want to look for Grandma's 2 wheels.
Because it's so tight, I can't get the zip tie past it. Maybe if I bend it a lot, can I get it in and around? That'll work. Bend it a lot.
Your fingers in my nose. Is there snot?
No.
Make sure. I bet there's a bunch of snot in there. Ow! Double snot. No.
There will now be no weeble wobbling around. That's good. That's most important. Hi, buddy. What you doing? Oh, careful, hop. Oh, could be hot. Hugsies. Hi, welcome home.
Pink phone.
Pink phone?
Yeah.
You don't want to play with Mama?
Pink phone.
You want the pink phone?
Yes, yes, yes.
Can we say a high five?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do you want flicks?
Yes.
Or let's see if we can do it.
Kids.
Kids. Kids we can do.
Kids.
Oh, you saw it. There it is. Haha. But you have to go and sit in the armchair. Or if you want to sit with Mama.
Sit, Mama.
Hi, baby Camille Chan. That's all buttoned up and good. And then we have another USB-C cable somewhere. Oh, it's Siri borrowed it, I think. It's not here. Hi, Zia. Hi, Seek. And hi, Raiders. Hi, Batman. I think we're really close to getting it powered up again. Like really, really close. I think we should get a fire extinguisher and see if we should plug it in. So when I plug this in, hopefully the fan starts spinning. Let's see. Did. So far so good. I smell no smoke. Okay. Will the computer turn on? How will we know? We don't. Oh! We have a speaker, so it should ding. Speaker is a new addition. Let's hear it. Let's see if we can get the button. Oh yeah, the mic is so bad. Mic is fucked. There's no ding. It doesn't have to be catastrophic failure. But it's not a good thing. Right, let me get a HDMI cable and a female to female. Does the screen say anything? Is the screen on? HDMI. No signal, which says to me it's not turned on. We have power, the fan is spinning. Let's click the power button again. Maybe I just failed to click it. Nothing. That's no good. That is no good. Right. Just a sanity check. If we're getting voltage. $16.5. That's good. So what could have happened? I could have failed plugging in the power cable. That's the easiest and most, that's the best outcome. Is that cable is not connected properly. The good part is that the band here doesn't have to come off for the computer to come out. Like it's not mandatory. I will though take it out of this. Just to make it a bit more loose. And we shall turn off the power. So we don't fry it. And then let's double check the power connection on this. So that means taking off the back, which I should be able to do, right? Because this connection is solid. Not worried about that. And what else could it be? I really don't think it could be anything else. I don't want it to be anything else, because anything else would be giant pain. So let's remove the back. It's a little tricky getting it off. So I can't get this support bracket to come undone. Or maybe? Yeah, I did manage. There we go. Oh, pray with me, chat. Pray with me that I just failed to plug in the power cable. Power button cable. Does it look weak? How do you bring in the looking glass? So there's this thing here. It does absolutely look seated, if you ask me. software. It's hard to film this and do it at the same time. So small and cramped in here. It's deep in the socket. Oh shit, that's not good. The locking tab fell out. So I think we're gonna have to remove the lid completely in order to get better access. I was hoping to be able to do a shortcut, but no. So that's a good thing though, because that fell off means that perhaps we had a poor connection all along. The hard part is, how do I fix that lever? Chat, you understand how small this is? Oh, how am I to film this and do it? Like, I think it's going to be very hard. But this could very well be the culprit. I have a pair of tweezers, don't I? Is that it? Fastest way to try is to not put that back, but rather just turn it on. And let's plug the battery back in. Double check so the fan is spinning. Let's see which side is the power cable on this side. Still unresponsive. Let's try to hold it to restart. Alright, no success. Let's measure if the board gets power. Hey, aware of existing. I think these are the positive pin and these are the negative pin. Wait, it could be on the other side. There's only there's 20 power pins on this board, and there's only 4 by 8 of the 20 that is connected to anything. So it could be on this side. .4 volts. Okay, yeah, so we have power. That's bad. It's not what we want. I mean, we want to have power, but we want it to turn on as well. Let's just sanity check ourselves by seeing if just the display output is broken. I mean, that wouldn't be unheard of. We can figure that out by plugging something USB-C in, I guess. That would start if the computer was booted up. It does start. You have a little power LED there. It's a Mac Mini. M1 Mac Mini. Let me just grab some water. Oh, I see it! Never mind. We're... Oh. Chat. Oh, we had a scare for no reason. Okay, come on, look here. Look here. Connecting to partner. Connected. So it is running. Here we see the system temps. So up, where are we? There we go. 28 degree on the system on the ship, and 49, which is the hottest part. It's a MOSFET, and we have 51 on the power supply. So it is, well, it is running. Oof. So why is the speaker not working? So I see here that the speaker is muted, and that shouldn't affect the bong when you start the computer. But it could have been in a sleep state, because it doesn't bong when it's in a sleep state. Let's see if we can play something. Some audio. So we have Spotify. That works. So the wiring of the computer speaker was a success. It's that little thing there that was playing. Yeah, the mic is borked. I asked before if it's bad enough that we should stop the stream, and chat said no, keep it going. But this is not my normal quality. I don't normally stream. I have actually never streamed with this phone, and I don't know if the mic on the phone is broken or if it's a setting I've borked. But this is not the normal way we're doing it. I'm really sorry about the peaking. It does degrade the quality of this experience. Actually, we keep the light on even if it's the wrong color temperature. I'd rather have light than it being pretty. So let's put the case back on. The computer is running right now, and I don't see a reason why turning it off. Oops, touched the fan. I don't see a reason to turn it off necessarily. But then again, if we turn it off, we can get to experience the bong. I'm worried though that the power cable is broken. So maybe if we try clicking it and seeing if it goes into sleep. That is something we can do. Because I think clicking it should put it into sleep mode. Yeah. Right, that didn't do anything. Let's lower the volume. Oh yeah, you just have to click it a little more decisively. Because it only bongs when it starts. It doesn't bong when it goes out of sleep. So now booting it up again. It started. I don't think it auto plays the music or anything like that. Yeah, so let's see if we can turn it off again. So I have my screen over there. Why is the display out not working though? Now we confirm that the computer is running. And I plug in the HDMI. It could be the wrong HDMI. I just realized. Holy shit, is that it? I have 2 HDMI cables laying on my desk. That was it. You know, sometimes you're like, yeah, I was not panicking, but I was worried. But now we know it works, and we know the power cable works. So let's put it to sleep and then turn it off. Now I can use the mouse and keyboard here. Sleep. Oh, thanks for the sub. We see that the alerts works as well. Forky Fly, 3 months. Thank you kindly. How fun was that? We put the computer to sleep just as the alert gone through. Killing the alert. Thanks for the sub. Thanks indeed. We need some encouragement after this stressful moment where I thought I had ruined the computer. Fan is spinning. Let's turn it off. I'm just gonna lean back for 1 second here. I think Sarah made coffee. I'll go and double check that. I heard her fiddle about with it. Probably just cleaning. There is no coffee to be had. We're gonna get guests soon. So I won't bother making any right now. So, if you just tuned in, hello, my name is Johannes, and this is my custom case for the Mac Mini in order to be able to mount it on my belly like a fanny pack. And here to the side we have a 180 watt hour battery. It's 295 watt hour in parallel. V-mount batteries running at 14.8 volts. Let's click this back in place. No, wait, let's put on the back first before we do that. Right. Anything we've forgotten that we want to adjust? I don't think so. Let's just pull off this hot glue. I love hot glue. Like if this was any other type of glue, getting it off in like a peel like this, impossible. It's just the right holding strength for this project. I did put hot glue on the ribbon cable, and that was a bad idea, because ribbon cables are so fragile that taking it off was like nerve-wracking. I have some standoffs I need to take out as well. No, I forgot to turn on the hot glue gun, but it heats up pretty quickly. And I'm gonna hot glue it in before I put on the brace. You gotta get a Jetson Nano. Dude, they're fantastic, and I recommend everyone getting a Jetson Nano over what I'm doing. The reason I'm running this setup is I don't want to use a relay. I don't want to restream. Multiple reasons. Restreaming using a Live Solo or a Jetson Nano makes it so you encode the stream 2 times. Once from your streaming device and once from your home computer. It doesn't allow you to have the alerts synced. If you watch an IRL streamer, the alerts are generally playing on stream about 2 seconds before they're played audio-wise. It also allows you to have a 2 to 4 second total delay from a viewer who says something to you being able to respond. Again, 2 seconds might not seem like a big deal, which is about what it takes to go from a Bella box or from a live view solo. I think the live view solo is like 5 seconds. It has a little bit more resilience built into it, unless you have the short delay turned off the live view, because if you have that turned off, it's even, I think, 20 seconds. But that's all to make it more resilient from going down. But this way I can go direct to Twitch, alerts in sync, and the biggest reason for me is being able to have everything in one system rather than having a separate computer at home running, consuming power, yada yada yada. This also allows me to screen share, browsing the internet or whatever, whilst being out and about. So I can, I can pull up a website, watch YouTube videos, whatever, and do screen sharing with you guys rather than just filming my cell phone, right? You can get more of a desk kind of streaming experience on the go. How much will I use that? Probably very little. Another perk is that I can just hook up my iPad, my phone, my whatever as a display to see what I'm filming and have that going. I can use the iPad for reading chat and interacting with chat. I can control OBS directly from it. It's basically like a wireless screen that is a touch screen. So I don't need to bring a keyboard and mouse to be able to fully use the computer. I can do it wirelessly to the iPad. Those are the main perks. Also, you can use high quality capture cards that is not supported by a Bella box or a Jetson Nano. This is only time consuming, not money consuming. What do you mean? Using this? This is more expensive than this is on par with a Live View Solo. A Live View Solo is $1,000, and this computer is in Sweden it's $1,000, but American is like $800 or so. And this was bought specifically for this, so this was a spendy investment. If you don't know anything about tech and you just want to go live, this is what you should buy, 100%. If anyone is looking for one, let me know and I'll sell you mine. What this does is it allows you to plug in 2 modems, a Wi-Fi and a network cable if you want, for 4 connections that you can bond together into one stronger. So you create resiliency, and then you just plug in any HDMI camera. It could be like a mirrorless camera. It could be a GoPro. It could be a whatever. And it's one click. You hold it, turn it on, and then you click, and you're live on Twitch. It's so flippin' easy. Then you can do the more advanced route by sending it to your computer, adding graphics, overlays, alerts, secondary cameras, whatever you want, and then restreaming that to Twitch. That brings me to the next disadvantage of doing it my way of going direct to Twitch, and that is if you drive into a long tunnel with your car, or if you run out of battery or whatever, if you are streaming to your computer at home, you can have an automatic scene switcher that changes to a be right back scene where you have maybe some clips playing that keeps the stream running until you are back live with your remote unit. I don't get that functionality. Twitch has a short disconnection protection that lasts you about a minute. So if it's a temporary thing, the stream will look to everyone like it's up. It will just be like borked connection, but it's only for a minute and you can't play your own clips. Whilst if you stream to your computer, you get that feature. Now, my use case, my stream shan't go down a single time during the day. Most days. So I'm not worried about that. It's like when we're road tripping, perhaps. Yeah, perhaps then it will do it. How much? I don't have a price. I don't know what it's worth. What is it worth to you? The only reason we have saved this is like a backup, or maybe if we're doing like a 24/7 stream, it's really easy to just take this and make it go live. It uses like 10 watts of power or something, so it's fairly efficient. So it'd be like a nice way to be able to go live. But you know, if someone else can stream with it, I think I'd be happier. You know, getting someone else to pursue their dreams rather than it just sitting collecting dust. Let's put on some hot glue. This would be the, I think, 8th time I put this case together. There's been a lot of iterations going on. And if you just tune in, the reason I put hot glue on is not to make it waterproof or anything. It's holding it in place a little bit, although it's not going to go anywhere because of the belt. It's holding it in ultimately. But it's a little dust protection, a little moisture protection, although very negligible. Because there's other areas that isn't waterproof. So it's not really important. I did one yesterday for 7 hours, and then I realized I had forgotten to put the speaker. Oh, I burned myself. Ouch. I had forgotten to put the speaker. Forgotten is the wrong word. So the Mac Mini comes with an internal speaker, right? And I decided not to put it in because I, one, wanted to save weight, and two, I didn't expect me to use it. And yesterday I was like, shit, I made a mistake. Because it would have been so convenient. Oh, I think the VOD is still up. If the VOD is not there, it's on YouTube. I publish every single stream I do to YouTube for archiving, so that people can watch it long after it's gone on Twitch. Oh shit, I forgot a thing. Oh man, it might be too late. It's supposed to have a small piece of electrical tape to protect it from shorts on the inside. I think it's not too late. Well, I think you can still get it in there. I guess it's not like I think it would. Short on this area where I'm putting it, but I want to minimize any risk. Chat, you guys are sort of in the way. Let me just quickly move you out to make sure I go down the right way.
Mommy, please.
Mommy's upstairs.
Daddy, Mommy, please. Dad. Mommy, please.
That's the one, Mom, baby. Look at the eggs. He's the one you're on. Yeah, that is the one you're watching. Sweetie, it is the one you're watching.
There we go. Probably should redo that whole glue line now. Yeah, DM me. Do it. Hit me up on Discord. And do please tell me what you want to pay for it. You know, it's like selling things second hand, especially when, I mean, a car is easy because you can just compare it to everything else on the market and all the other sales value. But this is like, yeah, it costs you $1,000 to buy it, but is it worth $1,000? Probably not. I would compare it against other solutions that you can buy, like a Jetson Nano solution would be like $350. So that's sort of where I would price it. And then maybe take into account that it is a used product and that you are a friend. Nice. And we only have this little bit left. Running out of hot glue. Oh, there we go. Let's put in a new stick. So although it's not necessary, I like to just completely cover it. No holes. Better too much than too little. Let's inspect. Oh, here we have a gap. It's the cutest when it goes running looking for Mama. Mama? Mama? There we go. Hopefully for the last time today. Not last time forever. I mean, I'm not delusional. This is going to come apart in a couple of days. If I know myself right. I will redo this in like 3 days. Oh, this would be better. And I go back to the drawing board and redo it. The case is made out of steel, so it weighs about 380 grams. Oh wait, 320 grams, yeah, because it's about 450 grams total weight with the computer, as I recall it. So it's like, it could be lighter. So I'm kind of like, do I know anyone with an aluminum TIG welder? So I could build it out of aluminum instead, because then it would be better heat dissipation, like 8 times better heat dissipation, and lighter with similar strength. So I'd like that, but it's not like a priority to save a couple hundred grams right now, because we're in the testing phase. I wouldn't. It's just fine as it is right now. Let's see if we can snap it in. There we go. And pull it through. So you see the hot glue is not there for structural, because it can't go anywhere, because my body is here and the strap holds the computer in, worst case, you know. So it's like, it's just for peace of mind, I'd argue. And let's put the strap back. that the right way now? Should be. No. No, it's sort of the right way, but I did it the wrong way. Could have it like that, but I don't want to have it like that. I want to have it like that. That's right. Do I want to put a Velcro strap here to hold it in? That could be nice holding that flap in place a bit. Oh, yes! Okay. Are we ready to see if it powers on again? I think we are. This time we can film it so we see the start together. Or failure to start. We'll see. So first we take the power cable. That's the first step of this journey, and that should cause the fan to start. Fan is on. Requires a bit of adjustment because it's not perfect to center. That's good. Oh, the computer just turned on. Right. Well then, well, that's good. I was thinking that I would have a bit of a dramatic suspense moment, but no, it's running. Right. I probably just didn't have internet when it started. Right. If we restart OBS. Cool. If anyone have any questions regarding the setup, do let me know. The HDMI going to the screen is this thing, and when you're not wanting to use the screen, you just pull it out, and then you can control the computer via your tablet, smartphone, whatever, using either TeamViewer or Duet. If this was a more modern iPad, which we'll save up money for, we could use Apple's own screen sharing casting thingy called Sidecar, where you can make any computer a like display, when the Mac display on the iPad. But this iPad is too old for that. So this is how I normally control the computer. And TeamViewer is awesome because you can pinch to zoom, and then wherever you put your cursor, the screen just follows. So it's very easy to use, and you have the on-screen keyboard. So it's perfect for like a no keyboard usage. Duet is faster and nicer, and it runs local. Especially if you plug it in with a USB cable, then it's super fast. This is off wireless though. But this works like a normal touchscreen, so I can't zoom, and wherever I click, it clicks. So if I'm like changing scenes, I'll be right back, for example. Hello? think OBS is sad. There we go. So yeah, this is like a normal touchscreen, which is pretty neat. What I like most about it is to have this bar in the bottom where you can switch between desktops. So if you have internet, for example, you can full screen that thing. And it becomes its own panel. Right, so you can hop between your things like this. If you could zoom and if you can get an on-screen keyboard, that would be fantastic. You can get an on-screen keyboard like through Mac OS itself by clicking up there, and you can get like a pop-out or like a lower bar on the Mac. But it's not as convenient as the one on TeamViewer. So they have their own perks, I guess. So this is the Mac being displayed on the iPad. This is the Mac Mini running. And if you wonder how big it is, let's put it in perspective to this is the stock Mac Mini case, right? If we can get them in frame at the same time. So it's like I could probably fit the case inside of the case now. But this is the big one that is so much smaller. It's like about half the volume. I know that the plastic 3D printed case I used first, this is 46% smaller. And this case that I made is a little bigger. Just a little bit. It's also narrower though, so... But I prefer the steel because I guess I can show you of how it's positioned. I'll show you just one moment. So it's designed to sit right there. Like so. And the cable strain protection relief thingy here, it's awesome because you can rub your arm against it and it's just comfy, and you don't cover the fat, you see, when you have your arm in like a normal position. And it's made out of steel, so it's very, very rugged and you won't break it. And yeah, that's where it lives, that's where it sits. It's super comfy, and now we have a speaker. Let's see if we can try that out. I guess we should... I think we should search for something copyright free. Because I want to test the speakers. I haven't experienced them. Alright, free music. Oh, that's loud. It's not even full volume. Let's go full volume. This is the speaker right here. That's pretty neat. I mean, he's not bass or anything, but for alerts. Chef's kiss. That's sweet. Cover up the arm a bit. And about half volume, which is more where I don't have it. And then that's like 25% volume. Plenty loud. But you can still hook up like a Bluetooth speaker. There's a headphone jack, so I can plug in something there. And the headphone DAC on this Mac Mini can even do high impedance headphones or speakers, which is pretty neat. So it's quite powerful. And this is a charge port to charge the batteries. And we got a USB port for charging a phone on there. Right, so that will be it for this stream. Thank you for watching. I'll upload this to YouTube and can refer to it if anyone want to watch me go through it for 3.5 hours. I'll probably do a better breakdown, but this will be something where someone can see the inside and like get a sense of how the setup works and cables routed and whatnot. And then I'll do like a rig rundown at a different time where I go through the components and how you can build your own if you are dumb enough to do it. I mean, seriously, just buy a Live Solo. A Live Solo would sit just as fine here. It's okay. It's a little thicker, but it's not bad. It's just you can't run a computer like off the Live Solo like this. Why would you need it though? That's the question. I have use case for it, but you probably don't. But for me, this is fantastic. Yeah, so thank you for watching. I don't even know how to go off on this app. That's the camera switching, chatting, be right back. Edit stream info. That's not how you do it. Interesting. There's not like it's not like a button for it anywhere. Oh, I didn't know I could scroll the chat. That's fantastic. See, I'm live, but maybe it's swiping, double tapping. Hide chat. Mute the mic. If I click and hold. Does anyone know how to go offline on the Twitch phone app? Hey, Kron. You don't happen to know how to go offline from the phone app? Oh! Swipe from the left side. Like you're trying to go backwards on a web page or something. I'm probably going to be live from the rig itself in a bit. If anyone want to hang out this evening. Until then, have a great one. Bye.